Crypto kids, welcome back to another video. Today, the Bitcoin bloodbath is continuing. We're currently sitting at $38,700, but we dipped all the way to 38.5K. And things are not looking too great. Bitcoin bounced back just for a very short amount of time to this orange box of support. And after retesting it, we continued the dump back down. Now, the question that everybody has is, when is the dump going to end? These are kind of my targets initially of where Bitcoin can see a rebound from after breaking this massive line of support we held since October of last year. I think that these two on the daily time frame could provide us some good support. I'll get into that and much more in today's video. We also, of course, have the 3 and 7 period moving average crossover. I've been warning you guys for the past many videos, actually, that once this 3 and 7 period moving averages cross over, usually, historically speaking on Bitcoin, we tend to see a reversal from the top. And you can see on the 2-week chart, which is not the best to use it. I prefer the weekly. We can see that every time we did see that crossover, Bitcoin had a significant reversal back down. And of course, which this one is way, way more major than everything that I just mentioned, the shooting star candle was so massive it indicated a huge exhaustion in buyers, and that's also causing the price to reverse. So we'll get into where I think, this is my second take of this video, so that's why I've highlighted a few things. There was an issue with my microphone. Ethereum is seeing a very good correction, and why am I saying very good? I was going to buy Ethereum, as you guys remember, up higher at like 23.50, but I closed that. I canceled that order because, well, we were expecting Bitcoin to dip and usually Ethereum follows. And now I think it may be a good entry, a good potential entry for Ethereum to DCA in on spot, not on leverage, but on spot, because it's retesting this prior level of resistance of this ascending triangle, and if we find support here, it would of course be awesome. And guys, keep in mind, nothing in this video is of course financial advice. It's just my TA and opinions only. Always do your own research before trading or investing. Super important. I'll just buy up. I already bought up a few Ethereum, but I'll buy it again because that was in the previous video. So I'll do that. And finally, in terms of the overview of this update, we also talked about the CME and how the CME had a massive impact on the Bitcoin price. We dropped by approximately 80% following a 220% move upwards, leading up to the news of the first ever financial instrument enabling institutional investors to get into Bitcoin. And we were actually one of the first channels in crypto to cover that. I can't, for some reason, find it because I can't go back with enough bars. TradingView just integrated these 3 new plans where you have Expert, Elite, and Ultimate, and apparently you need to upgrade to these, which are a lot more expensive than the non-professional ones, to get access to more bars in the past. But I'll do this after today's video. It just happened, literally. I was searching for the CME chart and it wasn't there. But if you guys, I'm not entirely sure if this discount is valid for these plans, but check the description of today's video and try signing up using this link. If it works, then you'll be able to get a discount. Where is it? Chart on TradingView. So this should give you some discount. If it doesn't, I'm not sure. But on the non-professional plans, it definitely would give you like up to a $30 discount, I think. So check it out. Let's see if it happens. But I will be upgrading to these other plans to have access in previous bars. But let's go ahead and buy up more Ethereum. I already bought 0.1 ETH. Maybe let's buy, just for demonstration purposes, let's buy 50 more USDT, press confirm, and there we go. We bought 50 more USDT worth of Ethereum. And if you guys are looking for a place, by the way, to be accumulating Bitcoin, accumulating Ethereum or other altcoins, trading on derivatives, you can check out Bitflex. That's personally where I'm trading at the moment. And you can get up to $88,000 worth in prizes and bonuses. The 20K of that 88K is in the bonus, and that is valid until the end of this month. If you complete the trading volume targets, then you'll be able to claim up to that level. So do check it out now because the month is ending very soon. So let me give you a breakdown of what's happened. And it's super funny because I was going to show you the total inflows and outflows of all of these ETFs, but literally just before recording this video, Grayscale saw more outflows. And this is why I'm still pretty bearish because GBTCs keep on offloading BTC, and this is impacting the price pretty heavily. We can see here that just 36 minutes ago, we've sold, well, they didn't sell it, right? They just sent it to Coinbase prime deposit and people assume they sell it. It's most likely an OTC deal that is not impacting the market directly. However, the news of it is, of course, causing the markets to move. Now, we can see that we had some inflows into GBTC as well, but the total amount, well, if you minus the total inflows, which are not that great, they're very small sums, it comes to around 14,700 BTC. And if I quickly calculate that using my calculator, multiply by the current price of Bitcoin, $38,800, that's going to give us 570 million. Grayscale has now, well, they've outflowed it from their trust, or actually it's not a trust anymore, it's a spot ETF. I believe they finally made that adjustment. And it's not looking good because just yesterday, after we made the video for yesterday, we saw another like 680 million in outflows, and that was like the record that GBTC had ever since its initial trading day. And I created this huge thread over on Telegram initially, and then I put it onto Twitter too. And I definitely recommend joining the Telegram and following me on Twitter, because whatever I have breaking news updates, I post it on Twitter. And if I have technical analysis updates or I see an interesting chart, I conduct the analysis on Telegram before making the video. If you want to join it, they're both, of course, free to join and follow. You can check out the follow my socials part in the description, and you can find the Telegram channel right over there. Again, free to join. So looking at this thread, we saw, well, first of all, massive outflows from GBTC, still seeing massive outflows, and we can scroll down further. We actually have the volume is increasing a lot. And if we look at the volume, BITO, GBTC, IBIT, they are in the top 100, and leave the top 100 ETFs. BITO is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So BITO is the 8th highest volume ETF, period. And just below it is IBIT in number 9, and number 10 is GBTC. This is wild. Like, can you imagine 3 Bitcoin ETFs? We have FBTC somewhere here too. 3 Bitcoin ETFs are in the top 10 most traded ETFs in the world. I think that is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's good in a sense. I mean, they are falling, right? We see negative 3.38%. Yes, they're falling. It's fine. However, if we just look at the volume, it's super bullish. It means that there's actual traction in these ETFs, institutional investors going in, trading it, and maybe it's falling at this current moment in time. The other guys, by the way, they're trying to, like IBIT, BlackRock, etc., they're trying to accumulate Bitcoin alongside the GBTC outflows. And if we go to Arkham, Fidelity just bought like, I think 1,000 something in Bitcoin. It's not enough. It's not enough to compensate the outflows that we're seeing from Grayscale, and that's what's causing the market to dump, unfortunately. But keep in mind, these volumes are super, super bullish, and in the macro time frame, it's really going to pay off. And Bitcoin is back to 39K, by the way, and we made some good money, actually, from spot by buying this Ethereum. We bought it around here, and it's already up. That is beautiful. Now, going into this, yes, the GBTC outflows are crazy. Like 3.4 billion so far is really an astronomical sum. In terms of where the Bitcoin liquidity is heading at, we've talked about this multiple times on the channel. There is, wow, okay, so this sum is reduced. Okay, so at 34,000, we had 5 billion in liquidity. Now we can see it is less than 4 billion. So the liquidity is reducing, but I think what's happening is it's getting widespread between this range. So the next level where we have drastic liquidity would be at $37,800, and take note that this is very close to our initial buying zone for Bitcoin. So it's very much possible that we end up in 37.9K, but is that the point where we see a reversal? That is a question mark. We're gonna have to see about that. And I forgot to mention this, by the way. Bitcoin did end up closing the CME gap perfectly. So we talked about this in the previous video. Congrats if you decided to take a trade, but just wanted to mention that Bitcoin did end up closing the CME gap. And going back to the browser, we don't have too much left. I know it's already 8 minutes or 8 minutes and 48 seconds into this video already. We don't have too much left, but this last bit is pretty crucial because this is the breaking news updates. So we can see here that Bitcoin whales have sold around 70,000 Bitcoin over the past 2 weeks, worth around $3 billion. And people are selling. Like, if we look at the short-term sellers, their total profits have dropped. This was in a Crypto Quant article. Their total profits have dropped by 50%. And that's why short-term investors are exiting the market. We can see whales slowly exiting the market, and that's causing the price to move downwards. But don't lose the macro focus. The halving is coming. And whenever the halving comes, we see a supply squeeze. And this is a beautiful chart reflecting the Bitcoin performance 365 days after the halving. So we can see here we have the halving, and then the price has a accumulation phase, a small dip, but after that we just go parabolic. And that's why I'm trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, because after the halving, Bitcoin sees incredible highs. And talking about accumulating as much Bitcoin as possible, this was something interesting I came across today. And where is it? It was from the Rational Root. So we have, okay, there it is. Now, according to the Rational Root, a very good on-chain analyst, apparently today's optimal for accumulating Bitcoin is 89 days. Now, what does that mean? Well, what he means here is that if you were to, starting from, I think like 2 days ago, but it's okay, starting from 2 days ago up to the halving, if you had accumulated every single day, let's say you want to put $10,000, so you divide it equally. For 89 days, you put in whatever 10,000 over 89 is, and then you put it every day for 89 days. That would be the most profitable strategy of accumulating Bitcoin, where you don't have to face the bear market, bull market tops, etc., blah, blah, blah. So according to him, if you want a dollar cost average into Bitcoin, now is the time. And I've actually been basically following it so far, and I'm going to be putting more and more. I have a sum in my head that I want to get into Bitcoin before the halving, and that's what I'm implementing at this current moment in time. So I thought this was a very cool graphic explaining what is the most profitable dollar cost averaging strategy. And I'll leave a link to this Glassnode Insights in the description below, because it is very, very detailed. I just picked out this chart because it was the most important one, but I definitely do recommend reading this, going over it. It is a long one, but it's worth it, describing the total supply squeeze that Bitcoin will face after the halving, for those of you that don't know too much about it. Now, Jim Cramer, he's published not one, not two, but 3 tweets in the past 24 hours talking about Bitcoin. Firstly, he said that unlikely Bitcoin finds its footing, giving his bearish stance on Bitcoin. And then he says Bitcoin is a tough own. And then very rightfully, Michael Saylor hits him in the comments saying that Bitcoin has the toughest owners. And I think this is a beautifully said spin-off to what Jim Cramer has said, of course. Look, yes, he was right, and he's probably super happy to the fact that he was right for the past, like, okay, 1 week. It's okay. We'll give it to him. But Michael Saylor, really, I think this was it was the perfect reply to give. And he also mentioned his latest tweet was, now that Bitcoin's down about 20% from its high, I expect a strong stand to be made, but it won't hold because not enough money is coming in. New theme number go down. Jim Cramer. And Peter Schiff, like Jim Cramer wasn't enough, Peter Schiff says that all the spot Bitcoin ETFs are now in bear markets, defined as a drop of 20% or more from the peak. The biggest loser is FBTC, the Fidelity one, down 32%. I think that VanEck Bitcoin Trust should change its name from HODL to get the F out. Funny, very funny. Now we'll get into the bullish things because we covered a lot of bearish stuff today. This is the final bearish one, I promise you that. We can see here that MT Goxx, which is the very, very old crypto exchange that didn't give a lot of the OG Bitcoin holders their Bitcoin back, they're saying that they're probably going to be refunding it soon. So we may see some profit taking for the Bitcoin holders over on MT Goxx. That is something concerning, but I don't think it's going to reflect too badly on the price. Now, switching into the very quick bullish news segment, we have Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency space overall, according to Crypto.com, saw 580 million people owning or interacting with Bitcoin, up by 34% from the previous year. So that is pretty interesting. So the total Ethereum owners grew by 39% from 89 million in January to 124 million in December. Within 12 months, we saw a 39% growth of the total people holding Ethereum, and we saw a 33% increase from 222 million people holding Bitcoin to 296 million people holding Bitcoin in December, accounting for 51% of global owners. I think that is some very, very bullish news. Again, in the macro landscape, Bitcoin, everybody's, there's nodes, there's miners, like people are just contributing to Bitcoin. The hash rate is at incredible highs. These are all adding value to Bitcoin. It is derived from, actually, I did have a tweet on it. Maybe I'll share it at the end of the video. It's something called the network effect. As more people use Bitcoin or a certain product or asset class, the value of it goes up. And that's followed by a theory called network effect. Google it. It's interesting, and this was pretty wild. So this is Jenny Johnson. She is the CEO of Franklin Templeton, which you know has over $1.5 trillion worth of assets under management. And here, I'm not going to play the whole video. I think there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi. She says that one of the things that made me a believer is that someone told me I keep 50% of my savings in Bitcoin, because if I say the wrong thing in my country, I could have my assets confiscated. And this has happened, historically speaking, in particular countries. And this was like, if someone like the CEO of a $1.5 trillion firm saying this is something mind-blowing. And Eric Balchunas says, kind of wild hearing such massive asset managers talk about government confiscating your assets. This comes on heels of Larry Fink, who said something similar, the CEO of BlackRock, $9.5 trillion asset manager, on TV. If you don't trust your government, that's why maybe you should be holding Bitcoin. Crazy stuff. Okay, I did say that we'll get into bullish news. This is kind of bullish. I mean, it depends on how you interpret it. So the SEC provides update on its X account hack on the day of the day before the Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Everybody got rugged in the space, and it's been released that it's due to their 2FA and whatnot. And apparently, they stopped their 2FA on their account 6 months prior. So back in like September in 2023, they stopped their 2FA for some reason, and apparently they had a SIM swapping event. This was the entire article which they released. I'm not going to go through it all, but that's kind of the summary of it. Interesting. I mean, I personally have my thoughts on it, but we don't know anything in the backside, right? It could be true, it could be not true. We're just only here to read what they have to say. Ethereum doing very well, by the way, since our buy. And this was the final piece of news, which I'll get into. So currently what we have is two different cases going on between Coinbase and the SEC and Binance US and the SEC. And the main idea is discussing about whether altcoins are securities or not. And we can see in the Binance case, I think the judge was a little bit annoyed because the Binance lawyers were repeating the same thing it's just computer code and it's not actually an investment contract, whatever. The token itself is not an investment contract, and the judge was getting a little bit annoyed. It looks more bullish in the Coinbase case rather than the Binance case, I would say, from the transcripts that I read. But in summary, we just got to be waiting for another 1 to 5 weeks, and we'll hopefully get kind of a bottom line, whether altcoins are going to be classified as securities or not. My take is that any asset or any crypto token which is linked to a DAO, that may be considered a security. So of course, not financial advice. I would just be careful if you hold any DAO tokens. They may be classified as securities because you're participating in governance, and the stakeholders or the people holding the equity or these tokens, they actually have a say in what can happen to the project, and that's why it may very well be classified as a security. And over on CoinMarketCap, if you go to my Twitter, you'll be able to find the tweet. There is a list of all of the DAO tokens that potentially may be classified as securities. So I'm personally being cautious with all of them. And last but not least, Donald Trump has said that he will not let any CBDC, the occurrence of any CBDC, of course, super bullish. The total fear and greed index is now at neutral, something important to note, and the altcoin markets are absolutely bleeding. I personally think it's an interesting time to be accumulating our favorite altcoins, and of course, Bitcoin, most importantly. But ladies and gents, that summarizes today's video. Wow, it's been 18 minutes, and I just remembered 10 minutes ago, I would say that, hold on, it's been a long one already, let's speed things up, but that clearly did not happen. I hope you enjoyed it regardless. I hope you have a beautiful day, and yeah, see you all tomorrow, and take care, everyone. Peace out.